Well, 20 years ago this week, two planes crashed into New York's iconic Twin Towers. The world watched on in horror as the shocking images were beamed right around the world. A generation has passed since that day. Around 29% of Americans either weren't yet born or were too young to remember 9/11. Teaching the younger generation about it is important, but an often difficult task.
They weren't around the day the world forever changed. Their teacher today was, and remembers it vividly.
Now, my apartment faced the towers. I was a block west of the World Trade Center.
Joan Masterpolo is one of around 1,000 volunteers at the 9/11 Tribute Museum, where guides who were near Ground Zero share their stories.
People cry on pretty much every one of my tours, but let's face it, the topic of September 11th is not an easy topic.
It is a detailed account and can be difficult to digest. From the sounds of the impacts, the sight of stranded workers who decided to jump, the feel of the dust which coated several blocks, and the collective shock, camaraderie and rage felt across the nation.
And the people who knocked these buildings down will hear all of us soon.
Almost 3,000 people died in New York, at the Pentagon and in Flight 93 in Pennsylvania. Around 82 million Americans weren't alive then.
It sucks, like everyone lost something that day, whether it's just a house or a family member, and it hurts to see that.
It is sad to see like how many people lost their lives just doing like their everyday thing, working or just walking by.
The dozens of documentaries and feature films on 9/11 may help keep some stories alive, but they aren't always accurate, or, some health experts say, helpful.
I think it depends on who you are and where you were when those events happened. Some people, though, I acknowledge that they may be reminded of the loss and only the losses that they experienced.
Many of the movies and 9/11 museums also aim to highlight the lasting, wide-ranging impacts of Al-Qaeda's coordinated attacks, like the resulting War on Terror and the thousands killed in US military conflicts, including in Afghanistan. America's longest war only just ended there. Some of the last American casualties were children when the towers came down. American students are also taught about the increase in state powers following 9/11 and the personal freedoms Americans surrendered. Lessons to help them and future generations remember such a pivotal moment of the past.
And we need to remind this generation that they have the capacity for unity, for hope, and for resilience when faced with challenges that you couldn't imagine.
Brent O'Halloran, Sky News.